Welcome to This Week from Blue Mountain Broadcasting. I'm so glad that you've tuned in today. I'm your host, Lynelle Ellis, the president of Blue Mountain Broadcasting Association, and we have some great things to talk about during the This Week show today. I'm going to be interviewing Keith Carlin, who's a volunteer at Blue Mountain Television and also a board member, and now project foreman for our move to the new facility on Wallula Road, and he's going to have some great updates to share with us, so I'm really looking forward to that. Also share some station news at the end of the program, and right now we're going to start with our devotional thought. First of all, I want to apologize that I couldn't meet with you with a live program last week due to some restrictions here at the studio related to the pandemic. But we are able to record this week, and I'm happy for that. But it means that my promise of sharing with you a thought from the book, The Messiah, on the life of Jesus every day during the 5 weeks of December has now just got extended into 1 week of January. So we're catching up with where we were at. So today we're going to be looking at the fourth part in our series on the life of Christ. And this is, of course, the story of how Jesus came to earth. And I'm going to be sharing again today one of my favorite passages adapted from the little book Messiah, which is based on an older book called The Desire of Ages by Ellen White. And in this newer version of the book, the language has been updated by Jerry D. Thomas. Today's reading is called The Cross. Now the Lord of glory was near death, feeling agony of both body and soul. It wasn't the fear of death or the pain of the cross that caused the suffering. It was a sense of the horrible wickedness of sin. Jesus saw how few humans would be willing to break their addiction to it. Without help from God, all humans would be exterminated. The guilt of every human since Adam was placed on Jesus, our substitute, and it pressed heavily on his heart. All of his life, Jesus had been sharing the good news of the Father's forgiving love. But now, with this terrible weight of sin on him, he could not see his Father's face. This tore at his heart in a way that humans will never fully understand. The agony was so overwhelming that he hardly felt the physical pain. All that he suffered, the blood that dripped from his head, his hands, and his feet, the agony that tore his body with every breath, and the unspeakable anguish in his heart from being separated from his Father, speaks to each of us, saying, "For you, the Son of God agrees to carry this guilt. For you, he battles death and wins. For you, he opens the gates of heaven. For you, he offers himself as a sacrifice. All of this he does because of his love for you." Please stay tuned. I'll be right back. Welcome back. Joining me now is Keith Carlin, who is project foreman for our move to the new facility on Wallula Road. And in addition to that, I should add, a volunteer project foreman. So you've been kind of a long time volunteer at Blue Mountain Television.
Since 2012.
That's a while.
Going on, well, it's well over 8 years now.
Yes. And what are some of the kinds of things that you've regularly been doing at the station?
Oh, that includes, primary job is programming the automation system that sequences all of the programs that we air, along with the fillers and the IDs and the requests for money and all of these good things. Yes, that takes care of several hours a week.
It sure does. And you're obviously a retired person, but you bring a lot of experience to Blue Mountain Broadcasting Association and a lot of technical ability and knowledge and organizational ability, things that we're really, really grateful for and that the station's benefiting from very much. And not too long ago, it's been a few weeks now, maybe a couple months, you volunteered to help us with leadership for the transition from our current facility over to the new one on Wallula Road. And we gave you a title, Project Foreman, and you are leading out with that project. And so I thought it would be really great if you could come on the program today. And you have before given updates on the program. I know Lowell interviewed you, but we'd like another chance to hear some exciting news here at the end of the year about what's happening at the new facility with this move. What's the latest?
The latest, and this is being recorded on Tuesday morning, the 29th. I left the facility at about 10:15 or so, and at that point I had just interviewed the man who finally finished after having to wait 7 days before the flooring could go in. The floor tile is actually installed completely in both the broadcast equipment room and in the network room. And he had just finished putting the little rubber strip at the door entry down so that we can actually have a nice transition from carpet to static control tile.
Yes,
and
I'm glad you gave the
in.
name of it, because some people might wonder, well, why did you have to redo the tile in those two rooms?
Well, it was carpet before, and you're not going to be rolling around equipment on tables and so forth on carpet very well. And carpet generates a lot of electric and static generators and so forth, so you have to protect the electronic equipment.
Yes, it can't have a shock like
That's
we sometimes
right.
have when we scuff across the carpet and then touch someone.
And if you've ever touched something after you've scuffed across the carpet, you remember, hey, that really actually snapped.
Yes.
There was up to 30,000 volts of energy being dissipated when you did that. Well, that would damage electronic equipment, and so we put tile down that conducts this electrical charge off to ground.
Mm-hmm. Yes, really, really important. Special flooring.
Yes.
And in kind of expensive flooring, really, because it is a specialty flooring.
And not only special, it is difficult to operate with. When I was with Bill, who is our volunteer that put that down for us out of the generosity of his heart.
Yes, and a huge thank you to him.
He said, that's the nastiest cement I've ever worked with. It has the steel wool ground up and mixed into this cement, the trowel on the floor.
Wow.
It just jams up the trowel, and he says it's messy to work with. But he did it.
Yes.
And it's done. We had to warm up that tile and the floor for 7 days prior to putting it down, and now we have to maintain that same temperature for another 7 days now that he's finished before we can go walking in there and working on it.
So these are little details that people may not be thinking about, and actually most of us who are even working with the station in one way or another aren't thinking about, but those are the kind of details that you are thinking about. Now we don't necessarily want to heat the whole facility, but we're carefully heating those rooms.
Doors closed, heat turned up, those
Yes.
rooms, right.
Yes, making sure that they stay the temperature that we need.
Right.
So that's the latest project. What are some of the other things that are in the works right now?
While I was out there, I took a picture of a couple of pipes that are sticking up out of the ground, and I was hoping to see some concrete around the base of them, but not yet. They have the forms all beautifully put together there around the base. They are the pipes, 6-inch in diameter pipes, that will be holding our satellite receiver dishes. And so as soon as Fred, he will be putting in the concrete. He's the man that actually installed our tower.
Yes.
Poured the concrete for all of that and climbed the tower and assembled it and all that. Well, he's the man that's going to be putting the concrete around the pipes that we'll be using for our satellite dish base.
Yes, so we're really excited about that happening soon, because getting those satellite dishes over there, that's really an exciting step for us in moving forward. Not just with our move to the new facility, but also our move toward high definition for our broadcast.
Absolutely, because we've had a challenge, unsolved yet, at our current location in getting a high definition signal on the satellite dishes there.
Yes, especially for our network, the Hope Channel.
Right, exactly. There's been another major improvement, milestone I call it,
Yes.
that happened now, 2 weeks ago, I guess, a little over 2 weeks ago. Jim and I were over there, and I was working on taking off the baseboard stuff around in preparation for putting the tile down. And we had taken off the baseboard around the floor, and I had to take off all the junk that was left and paint it. And as he was working on the satellite connection that's from the tower up there, I shouldn't call it satellite, it's our internet, air fiber internet.
Yes.
He hadn't been able to actually get the internet connection to operate there. Even though he could ping the signal, couldn't get internet. While I was there, he and I together discovered 1-digit difference in an address in the computing connection.
Oh.
We saw internet from Blue Mountain TV on a laptop at that site at that time.
And that is really exciting because
That's
I guess,
right.
as everyone understands, in order to operate a business of any kind, and especially the type that we will be operating there, we need a great, wonderful, strong internet signal.
We have to. Yes, we depend on it for our streaming. We depend on it for our own incoming signals, and we'll be using it for transmitting the signal between various locations that we are remoting to and that new site.
All right, so those are some exciting things that have happened. And we know the concrete pouring is coming up next. What are some other projects that our donors, our viewers, those interested in what we're doing here should have in mind and be aware that we're working toward?
Well, one of them that's already been funded is the fence around the bottom of the tower. And I'm just waiting for the contractor to find enough time to get over there and put that fence in to protect the public against any damage from going up that tower. We have to be community sensitive in that respect and protect them against themselves.
Yeah, we want to make sure that we keep everything as safe as possible at our new facility.
One of the other things that we are working toward, and let me give a little background on this. We are very, very close to submitting our application for the building permit to do the changes to the building. The things that have been holding it back are a planning process that we have been going through, and it requires some very specific details that we would not normally have to worry about. But when you're starting to do a big project, you want to know that everything's going to happen in sequence, in the proper arrangement. So we have been working those details, and they are almost totally complete. I have, I think, one sheet in the drawings to complete, and it's a schedule of windows and doors.
Yeah, so you are really close.
Yeah, and I've been doing those for the matter of the last several weeks.
Yes.
And we're really close to putting that application in. Once we have that, we're going to be ready to start using those volunteers that are chomping at the bit, that want to get in here and do something. And I know of 2 or 3 of them that have just been anxious to do this.
Yes, they've been calling and saying, I'm ready to help, I have skills.
Yes, and we've had some of them doing it. We've had some jobs that we could go ahead with preparatory to this. We can't move as fast forward as I would have liked because we have to do that sequential planning. And that's the process we're going through, is that planning, step by step. And soon we're going to be doing the demolition of all of the parts of the building that are not going to continue there, and that'll be a job for volunteers.
Yes.
And that'll be a big job. We have a promise from Paul to give us a vehicle to collect all of the debris in, to haul it away. And so all of this is going to work beautifully.
I'm really excited for those final plans that you're almost completed with, because there'll be that demolition, and then there'll be the building of some new walls and some new modification of areas, so that already wonderful building can become just perfect for what we need to do for broadcasting.
I'm looking forward to it.
We're really excited about it. So there are probably some of these projects that our viewers might be interested in donating toward, as well as volunteering. And we should probably point out that we're being very careful not to move ahead with the next phase until we have the funds in hand to do that.
Right. That's responsible management.
It is. We would love to go as fast as possible, so I think all of us are praying that the donations will come in quickly.
We need them. We definitely need them. I think that high on the list is our high definition activities. That's been one of our prime goals for several months.
Yes.
And we are very, very close, but there is some equipment that we need to get funded for that. And they're called encoders. And they run about $6,000 each, and we have 2 of them, but we need a 3rd one. And another $6,000 would buy one of those.
Yes.
That's a major action, and maybe our viewers would be able to pick up a part of that, or maybe even the entire cost of that.
Yes.
And we need some switching equipment that we will be putting into the new facility that we're not currently using at the location where we currently are. And that switching equipment is not cheap either. We would need about $3,000 or $4,000 for that.
All right. Well, those are 2 really good challenges. So $3,000 or $4,000 and $6,000 for just a couple of the next pieces that we need to move forward. And just as we finish up our conversation here, maybe quickly emphasize to people why high definition, or HD as we've been saying, why is that so important to us?
So that you can see the eyelashes on the person you're looking at instead of a blur. The quality of the video is so much better with high definition. It brings it to life. You get better colors. It's vibrant. You just enjoy it more.
It's really true, and it's something that we've been wanting to do for some time, so we're excited that we're almost there.
One of the things you've seen already in these things the viewers haven't seen it, but we have in our previews at the station are the images that Daniel is getting when he's out in the desert or up in the mountains and has done his photographic work there.
Yes, that's
he's
all
doing
high
this
definition.
in high definition or 4K. And when we see that, it's just so much better than what we're broadcasting, and the people will be able to enjoy that.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you so much, Keith, for sharing with us this update. I'm really grateful, and for all of your hard work on the project.
Happy to do it.
And thank you for watching. Stay tuned because I'll be back with Station News. Welcome back. It's time for Station News. And we've just been hearing a huge expounded version of Station News in that wonderful conversation with Keith Carlin, as he's really been inspiring me, and I think you as well, about the move to the new facility on Wallula Road. Such exciting things are happening, and so much more can happen as your gifts come in to make it happen. When you heard that update and report from him, I'm hoping that you were hearing the gratitude and perceiving the gratitude that we all have toward you, because you're the ones doing it. Your gifts coming in, your volunteer time as you're helping at the station are what's making the progress go forward. So thank you so much for that. And in advance for what you are going to be doing as we continue on with new exciting elements of this project. You heard him mention a $6,000 need that we have and a $3,000 to $4,000 need. And so those are some immediate things that we would love to see funded right away at the station. So when you send a gift in, you can just note for the new facility right on your check as you're giving your gift, and let us know. Or you can give online, by the way, as well, which is another really convenient way to make a donation to Blue Mountain Television. So looking forward to hearing from you as we are making exciting progress with the new building. And I guess wrapped up in that, I have a note here to make sure and tell you that we've got the static tile laid down and ready to go, but you already know that because we just heard such a wonderful update from Keith. So that's happening. Here's something that you haven't heard about that yet, and that is a new program on Blue Mountain Television. And it's particularly fun for me to tell you about new programs that are coming on the station because, after all, what is a television station than programming? It's about the content, the shows that you tune in to see and that are a blessing to you. And so we have a new one. This program is called Country Wisdom. And I'm looking forward to seeing it. I haven't seen this myself yet, and I'm getting these updates about it from our station manager, Lowell Mann, who has seen it. And the hosts of it are Jim Eyre and Janice Nelson. And they are the hosts of the program. They're going to be They describe their program this way, that they have engaging, simple to understand wisdom combined with down-to-earth biblical counsel. And all of this is enveloped in the beauty of some stunning locations where they filmed the program. So I'm excited to see it. I think it's going to be a fun show. I love that sort of down-home country wisdom, and maybe that's one of the reasons why I like living in a more rural and remote area like we all do here in the Walla Valley. Country Wisdom is premiering January 10, so it's coming up pretty soon. Mark it on your calendars, January 10 at 6 p.m. And then it's going to be airing Sundays at 6 p.m., Mondays at 9 p.m., and Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. Of course, you can check your program guide for that information as well in the future once it's updated for this. But you can always get program guides from us by subscribing to our newsletter. And so that's a helpful way to stay up to date with what's happening at the station and what's happening with programming. So if you're not getting the newsletter, please contact us at 529-9149 and let us know that you would like to receive it at your house. Also, of course, you could always go online to our website and you can see the program schedule there as well, which is really handy and helpful on whatever device you're using or computer. So be sure to tune in for this new program, Country Wisdom, premiering January 10 at 6 p.m. on Blue Mountain Television. And I think that's about all I have for you today. I am really, really happy that you've tuned into the program. It's been fun spending these few minutes with you, and I look forward to seeing you next time on This Week Show. Bye for now.